The final psychological battle. Erikson's last stage explained, aging is more than just a physical transformation, it's a psychological journey. And according to Erik Erikson, one of the most influential developmental psychologists of the 20th century, the final stage of life brings with it a powerful inner challenge: ego integrity versus despair. This is not just a theory for textbooks. It's something many people over 60 live with every day, even if they don't have a name for it. At its core, this stage asks a simple but profound question: was my life meaningful? Ego integrity is the sense that you've lived a life with purpose, that your experiences, both good and bad, form a cohesive story. It means looking back without regret, with acceptance and even pride. You may not have done everything you hoped for, but you made peace with your path. You see yourself as whole. Despair, on the other hand, comes when the story feels incomplete, when regrets dominate the past, and when we fear we've run out of time to make things right. It shows up in thoughts like, I wasted my life. It's too late for me. I have no more value. This stage, Erikson believed, is not just about reflection. It's about reconciliation. It's about making peace with who you are and the life you've lived. Importantly, this isn't a one-time decision. It's an emotional landscape that many older adults revisit again and again. You might feel integrity one day and despair the next. It's not weakness. It's part of the process. Understanding this final psychological battle gives us a powerful insight. Aging isn't only about losing function or status. It's about integrating your life's meaning. And if you're still asking the big questions, that means your story isn't over yet. Despair. The hidden pain behind I have no purpose anymore. There's a quiet sentence many people over 70 say, not out loud, but somewhere deep inside. I don't matter anymore. This is the voice of despair. And unlike sadness or grief, despair feels permanent. It's the sense that you've been left behind by time, that your usefulness has expired, and that the world no longer needs what you have to offer. Sometimes it creeps in slowly. After retirement, after the children move far away, after the daily rhythm of life softens into silence. Other times it strikes suddenly, with the death of a spouse, the loss of health, or the realization that dreams once held tightly are now unreachable. In Erikson's terms, despair isn't just feeling bad. It's the belief that your life as a whole lacks meaning, that your story didn't add up to something worthwhile, that it's too late to rewrite the ending. But here's the truth. Despair isn't the end of your story. It's a signal, a call to look inward. Because the question isn't, do I still have value? The real question is, can I still find value in who I've become? Despair often arises when we measure ourselves by productivity, speed, or roles we no longer fill: parent, worker, caretaker. But those were only parts of your identity. Beneath them is something deeper: your essence, your wisdom, your quiet presence. The pain of despair, as sharp as it can be, often masks a hidden yearning to be seen, to connect, to still matter. And that's not foolish. That's profoundly human. Frankl said that suffering without meaning leads to despair. But if you can find meaning, even in loss, despair begins to lose its grip. So if you've ever said, I have no purpose anymore, remember, You're not alone in that thought. But also remember, it isn't the end of the sentence. Your purpose isn't gone, it's simply changing form. The power of ego integrity, finding wholeness in the mirror. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, not to check your appearance, but to look at your life. Would you smile, or would you look away? This is the heart of what Erik Erikson called ego integrity. It's the ability in the later stages of life to look back and feel a sense of inner wholeness, to see not perfection, but coherence, not constant joy, but deep meaning. Ego integrity doesn't mean your life was without pain or mistakes. It means you can say, I lived, I tried, I mattered. This kind of reflection isn't always easy. It asks you to face regrets, missed chances, and heartbreaks, not with shame, but with gentleness. It invites you to gather the pieces of your past and hold them together in one hand, saying, this was my life, and I accept it. Many people in their 70s, 80s, or even 90s begin to wrestle with this idea, sometimes without even knowing they're doing it. They revisit old memories. They speak more often of the old days. They wonder what legacy they've left behind. These reflections are not signs of weakness. They are the work of integration. And here's the most beautiful part. You don't need anyone else to give you permission. Ego integrity is not earned from others. It's claimed from within. When you reach this place, you may find a surprising peace. Not because everything went right, but because you see how everything, even the wrong turns, brought you here. To this moment, to this breath, to this wisdom. Erikson believed that ego integrity is the final gift of a life honestly lived. Not everyone gets there, but everyone can try. So next time you stand in front of a mirror, don't just look at your reflection. Look into your story. You may find that wholeness has been there all along, quietly waiting for your recognition. Your wisdom is needed. Why the world still needs elders. There's a quiet myth that creeps into our culture, that after a certain age, people become less useful. That wisdom has an expiration date, that the world belongs to the young. This couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, never before has the world needed elders more than it does today. We live in a time of constant change, fast technology, shallow connections, a culture obsessed with speed. In such a world, what's missing isn't more information. It's depth, meaning, perspective. And these are gifts only time can offer. You, as an elder, carry something the world cannot Google: lived experience, the ability to see patterns, to recognize what truly matters, and to remind others that not everything important can be measured or monetized. This is where Erikson's final stage becomes not just personal, but communal. When you reach ego integrity, that sense of inner wholeness, you don't just benefit yourself. You become a light for others, a guide, a stabilizing force. Think of the people around you, your children, your grandchildren, even strangers. So many of them are anxious, lost, rushing through life with no anchor. Your presence, calm, seasoned, honest, can be that anchor. This doesn't mean you have to give lectures or write memoirs. Sometimes it's enough to simply listen, to say, I've been there. Or, here's what I've learned. Even your silence can carry weight. Even your stillness can model peace. You may not be the loudest voice in the room anymore, but you are the deepest one. And that depth is sacred. So don't believe the lie that you've become irrelevant. You are not done. You are not invisible. You are a living archive of love, pain, laughter, failure, and growth. And that makes you irreplaceable. The choice is yours, despair or dignity in the final chapter. As we reach the later years of life, something remarkable happens. We begin to look back, not just at events, but at meaning. Did it matter? Did I love well? Did I live with purpose? This is the heart of Erikson's final stage. Ego integrity versus despair. And it all comes down to one powerful truth. You get to choose. Not what happened. Not the mistakes, or the losses, or even the things left undone. But how you relate to them now. How you tell your story to yourself and to the world. Despair whispers, "It's too late. I should have done more. I missed my chance." But ego integrity says, "I made it through. I did the best I could with what I knew. And I'm still growing, still becoming, even now." This is not denial. It's not about pretending everything was perfect. It's about acceptance. It's about making peace with the mess, the beauty, and the mystery of your life. You don't need to rewrite the past. You need to own it, to see it as a whole, not just a list of regrets, but a rich, unfolding narrative that brought you here, to this moment. And from this moment, you get to choose again. Bitterness or grace, withdrawal or connection, fear or courage. This is the quiet dignity of aging with awareness. It's not passive, it's not weak. It's the bold act of saying, "I am still here, and this chapter, this final chapter, is mine to write." So write it well, with presence, with compassion, with the wisdom only a lifetime can offer. And if this message touched you, if it helped you feel seen, please consider subscribing to The Inner Elder. Like the video, leave a comment and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because the truth is, none of us walk this path alone. And sometimes, just one voice can remind us, there is still time for meaning. There is still time for peace. There is still time for you. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this video spoke to your heart, helped you reflect, or simply made you feel a little less alone, we invite you to stay connected. Like this video to support our work, leave a comment to share your thoughts or story, and subscribe to The Inner Elder for more meaningful reflections on aging, wisdom, and the search for purpose. You are not forgotten, you are not finished. Your voice matters, and we're honored to be walking this path with you.